Hi everyone, it's Keith Brink, Director of the Upward Bound Programs at the University of Arkansas. It's really great to be with everyone again and have an opportunity to tell you what you can expect when you're here with us during the 2 weeks of your sophomore summer residential experience. Today we're going to have an opportunity to talk about the things that you can expect while you're here, what to bring, what move-in's going to look like, all the rules and guidelines that we're going to go over and talk about to keep you safe while you're here on campus, and also what you need to send back to us, which is just really one simple form. So let me get started by first talking just a little bit about some of the folks that you're going to see while you're here on campus and have already met. So again, I'm Keith Brink, Director. Lacey Gebhardt is our Associate Director, and you're going to hear a lot more from Lacey because Lacey's going to be the one talking about all the fun things that we're going to be doing during those 2 weeks, the activities that we're going to be doing during the evenings, as well as going over all of our handbook and the guidelines and expectations that you're going to have as a student while you're here on the University of Arkansas campus. You also remember that many of you met Vicki Hodges, our academic coordinator, and then our two academic advisors, or Upward Bound advisors, Melinda Heater and Angel Leach. In addition, when you're here this summer, you're going to be under a great team that's going to be supervising you while you're staying in the residence hall. And that's going to be led by a team consisting of our residential coordinator, who is Darcy Hayes, as well as Lillian Williams, who will be our assistant residential coordinator. And in addition to that, when you move in, you're going to get to meet your residential mentor that's specifically assigned to you. In addition to our residential team, we also have our great instructors that you'll be working with, and many of you got to meet them in our introduction to sophomore summer as well. So today what we're going to do is talk about some different things that you can expect while you're here this summer. Each of you should have received your packet when you were here with our introduction to sophomore summer, or it's already been mailed to you if for some reason you were unable to attend. So we want to go over those forms as well as talk about how move-in is going to work, move-in out is going to work, as well as our daily schedule that we're going to have for our academics, our activities, and then a big portion of our orientation today is going to be talking about the guidelines and rules that are in your summer handbook. And those are important because they're the things that keep you safe, the rules that we need to follow as students here on campus, and things that you can expect, and some questions that probably you will have answered for you once we go over that part. And then finally, your last thing that you're going to have to do today as part of the orientation is acknowledge your receipt of this particular orientation by filling out the statement or signing the statement of acknowledgement and student commitment. You and your parent will do that. So the purpose of today's orientation is to give you some information about the packet of forms that you have, the information that you have, how move-in is going to go and move-out is going to go when you're actually here on campus, as well as some overview of our daily schedule. That includes our academic classes, how you can earn stipend while you're here, and also during the time when you're at home actually this summer. And then also, we talk about all of our different activities, our recreation time, what we call mentor families, and all the activities that we'll be doing over that weekend that you're here with us during those 2 weeks. And more importantly, we'll spend some time going over our summer handbook. So Lacey Gebhardt, our Associate Director, will talk about all the different guidelines and the rules and the expectation that we have while you're here staying with us, and all of that is contained in the handbook. And that is something you want to make sure that you spend some time with and make sure you understand all the different rules, because those are the things that are very important as a student and a participant in Upward Bound, because not only are they the rules that we have, but they're very much designed to keep you safe and to have a great experience while you're here on the University of Arkansas campus. And finally, we'll want you to mail back what's known as the Statement of Acknowledgement of Student Commitment. And that's just your acknowledgement that you have read the rules that are contained in the handbook, that you've went through this orientation process, and that your parents are acknowledging that as well. So you'll put that in the return envelope that is included in your packet and mail that back to our office to get credit for that particular part of the orientation. So let's talk about move-in. So that's the exciting part. So remember, make sure you circle this on your calendar, but Sunday, June 5th is going to be the move-in for the residential portion of our sophomore summer. And move-in will actually occur between 4 and 5 p.m. It doesn't matter if you get here at 4:05 or 4:15, just we're going to block off that entire hour for parents and students to come to the University of Arkansas campus. We have a map on your move-in card. So every one of you has this move-in card that we're showing here on the screen that again has that time, but also has where our residence hall is on campus. And we'll be staying in Futura Hall. And Futura Hall is located on Lindell Avenue, and we'll have plenty of signage to make sure that you have a smooth transition from where you're coming from all the way to the actual parking lot where you'll pull in and unload all of your belongings. And also, if you ever need this information, always remember that you can go to our Upward Bound website, our calendar, and find this information there as well. So the great thing about staying in Futrall Hall, and Lacey's going to talk a lot about your residential experience, is that we will be the only group that's actually there. And you'll be supervised 24 hours a day by our great residential staff, and you'll be very safe. And that's going to be sort of your home base for those 2 weeks while we're here on the University of Arkansas campus and enjoying this residential experience. In addition, on your card you have what to pack and what to bring and what to leave at home, but Lacey is also going to go over all of those details with you at a little bit later time. And then once we have spent our 2 weeks, we're going to have our move out day, and that's going to be Saturday, June 18th. So just make sure you're aware of those 2 important dates. Your family's aware of those, because again, that's going to be when you're going to take all of your belongings home and move out of the residential hall and really conclude your sophomore summer. You won't be concluding with Upward Bound, obviously, but it's just going to be kind of your wrap up to those full 6 weeks. And so that information is given there, and we'll give you a little bit more detail when we get closer to that particular move out date. So the other thing that you have in your packet is the sophomore summer residential component schedule. And so it's kind of a light gray and blue form that you can see here. The front and the back contain the 2 weeks, kind of the overall schedule. So you'll have a really good idea by just looking at this what you're going to be doing for your academic part of your program, as well as all the fun, great activities that we'll be doing while you're here. So I'm going to first talk just a little bit about some of the summer academic components, and then Lacey will talk a little bit more about some of the activities that we do during the evenings and on the weekends. But just as a reminder, you'll have breakfast in the morning with the residential staff in our residential dining hall. Now, some of you have already gotten to have that experience while you were here for a couple of our Saturdays. But you'll be involved in your research project, which is your science project, for 2 hours a day. So some of you will be in section 1 or section 2, depending upon which project you do. And then the other academic core classes that you'll have in the morning between 8 and noon are going to be your math and your English. Then after lunch, every day, you'll either be involved in your sophomore seminar on Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday, and on those opposite days, you'll be in your electives. Some of you have chosen art as your elective, and some of you have chosen juggling. We also have a variety of special presentations that we'll do on our Fridays, and also a couple of those during the week. But in addition to that, right after we finish up with our electives and our seminars, our presentations, you have a little bit of time to study and take care of things in the residence hall before we get to our personal recreation time. And that's something that Lacey's going to talk a little bit more about here in just a moment.
Hi everyone, I'm Lacey Gebhardt. I'm the Assistant Director of Upward Bound Programs here at the U of A. I'm so excited about this summer and the chance to get to meet you and work with you and learn with you. It's going to be an awesome summer. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you can find in your summer handbook. I'm not going to read everything word for word, but I'm going to hit some of the high points. Students have a great deal of responsibility in the summer. We are asking quite a lot. We talked about it in your interview that Upward Bound is a very big commitment of your time and energy, but what you put into Upward Bound, you're going to get back and even more. So we do expect students to participate fully in all of our activities and classes. That means our expectation of students is to engage in your classes, to have a good attitude about all of the different events and activities that we do. They all serve a purpose, and they're a lot more fun if you come into them with a little bit of a positive attitude. It is a very big time commitment. It's going to be 2 weeks, including over the weekend. One of the things we'll ask you to do in that packet, you can find a absence request form. So if for any reason you need to check out from Upward Bound, if you have an orthodontist appointment or something like that, just fill out that form to let us know so we can be prepared to sign you in and out with a parent or guardian there. So one of the central components of the Upward Bound summer is the idea of the mentor family. So we have the amazing opportunity to work with some our residential staff who are some of the best and the brightest college students or recent graduates that will be living in the residence hall, maintaining all of the policies and procedures but also having a really close relationship with students to mentor and guide them. So each student will be assigned a mentor, and throughout the summer you'll actually do activities with that mentor and with that group. That's going to be kind of your core bubble in the residence hall of who you'll go to and who you'll spend a lot of time with, and that's called your mentor family. Parents and guardians, I just want to mention briefly, as far as illnesses or accidents, the way we approach that at Upward Bound is that we want to get your child to you in your care so that you can make any medical decisions necessary. Obviously, we have the medical authorization form, and in case of an emergency, we will seek the care that we think is the best approach at that time, but our goal is to get them to you. For many of you, this might be the first time that you're living within a residence hall, the first time that you're having a roommate. Please take some time to read this handbook and be aware of all of our policies and procedures. There are 3 that I want to highlight right now because they are deeply important to the core of our program. One of them is that we don't allow any violent, hateful, or bullying language towards any student, between students, and that is in person or virtually. We take that very seriously. We want Upward Bound to be a place that is physically and emotionally safe for all of our students. The second one that I kind of want to touch on is our residence hall is divided by floors, by gender. So if your student is a girl, the student will be on the girls' floor. If your student is a boy, they'll be on the boys' floor. One of our big rules is that there are never boys on the girls' floors or girls on the boys' floors. And the third one that I want to mention is that we have a zero tolerance policy for any sort of drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. Within the residence hall, Upward Bound tends to follow the rules set forth by the University of Arkansas Housing and Residence Life. So please take the time to check out the handbook, all of the list of things that you are not allowed to bring, including candles, and some of the things that you should really bring, including shower shoes and a shower caddy, because the residence halls do have communal showers. It's very important for us to maintain safety and security on campus. So one of the important policies that we have is that if students are outside of the residence hall, they will always be accompanied by a staff member. Another thing I want to mention that helps us maintain safety is that we do not allow visitors to Upward Bound. Now, parents, there may be a reason that you need to drop off an item at the front desk that maybe your child forgot, or you need to check out your child for an orthodontist appointment or eye doctor appointment, and that's totally fine. But if there comes a time where you need to spend time with your child, instead of coming into the residence hall, you would check your student out and spend time with them in that way. The 2022 sophomore summer is going to be awesome, and I'm so excited to get to work with and know each and every one of you. See you soon.